The most complex of all tragic heroines is Euripides Medea. Medea kills her own children sane. She plans it, she premeditates it. It's the first great murder play in that we watch her mind as she goes through all the steps towards deciding to kill them and then carrying it out. It is a play about the psychology of murder. But what she manages to do at the beginning is actually get all the chorus, who are women of Corinth, on her side. And in the speech where she does that, she actually effectively gets, I think, most of the audience on her side, at least temporarily, even a male audience. What she says in the great first speech, we hear her weeping before, but when she comes out of the house, is a description of the plight of women in the sexist ancient city-state, especially foreign women, immigrant women, which is so articulate and so persuasive that it still produces gasps of recognition from audiences. She says that women are the most blighted, the most sorrowful and suffering of any creature alive on the planet, because men can demand sex with them when they're married. They have no control over their bodies. You can't have rape in marriage in ancient Greece, because they're bought and sold through the dowry system. They have very little economic control. Men just use them like objects, because they have to stay at home and get very, very bored, especially if they're, like her. The implication is she's very intelligent, she's bored, stuck at home all day, not allowed out very much. And worse, the terrible danger of childbirth, which men who go off to war say women aren't brave. I mean, we know for a fact how many very young women especially died in childbirth. It was probably 1 in 2 died in their very first labour in ancient Greece. So she makes this case for the plight of women. By the end of it, the chorus is saying, "Go, Medea, let's get back at this guy," because her husband has left her for the princess of the city. He wants to make a socially advantageous marriage, and it helps that she's young and beautiful too. On top of that, Euripides then makes Jason the most unpleasant husband it's possible to imagine. He actually taunts Medea about saying that she can't cope with not getting sex. He says that he uses a racist card. He says she's just like all barbarian women and she can't control herself. And the icing on the cake, when you still hear gasps in the theatre, is when she says, "How could you leave me?" And he says, "I did it for us, darling. It'll help all of us have a better life in this city." You really want to slap him if you are a woman at that point. So Euripides makes her very sympathetic, and Jason to be the most sophistical, argumentative husband who just doesn't get the emotional situation they're all in. But then there's a flip round when we realise what she is actually planning to do, and we get more and more terrified, so do the chorus. And by the end of the play, of course, this horrific crime, the other parents who kill their children in Greek tragedy, like Heracles and Agave in the Bacchae, are allowed to be mad, but they don't realise what they're doing. She's not given that. She actually stands there at the end of the big speech, when she finally makes up her mind to kill her children, on the very rational ground that it's what will hurt Jason most, because he does love those kids, is the argument that she actually says, "I know what I'm going to do is wrong, but my power to think rationally has been overcome by my emotion." She actually tells us, "I am insane mind and responsible for what I'm doing." And then we just watch helplessly as it happens. Terrifying.